Life, from anecdotal evidence and empirical point of view, is mainly shaped by three kinds of factors: experiences, observations, and genetic/innate traits, which may be further explicated as follows. Sensory experience is immediate and all-encompassing. Thought process operates selectively or even seemingly arbitrarily. Experience through mental, imaginative, visualization is narrower but more focused. Emotions are instantaneous. Mood lasts longer. Traits are longer lasting still. These processes, which influence our lives so immensely, may be either cognitive or emotional, first-person perspectives or the third-person perspectives, objective experiences or subjective experiences. Before we get consumed into the detailed discussion of the subject, we must understand two fundamental misconceptions and the distorted framework within which we operate. 1. The dependence on fellow human beings. Human beings, as a first-hand experience, have been extensively habituated to dealing with the fellow human beings. Therefore, everything is expected of one another. Although we know that the Creator is the ultimate sustainer, still expect fellow human beings to come to help. The simple logical reason is that this is the only experience we have. We, therefore, need a fundamental paradigmatic change. In our perceptual cognition, we have to perpetuate the ultimate sustainer as the primary sustainer as well. We ought to understand that the other human beings are the means and not the source. This conceptual change will save us from numerous disappointments and sour relationships. 2. We expect immediate results. We are enmeshed in fast-paced life with quick outcomes, therefore, any delay is certain to give rise to doubts and suspicions. Sustained effort is the human obligation, whereas results are his domain. Where results are delayed, patience need be observed. Let nature take its course. Patience is a virtue. Waiting with patience is worship. Negative aspects such as fears, failures, rejection are major entropic elements in personality development. There is always a fear of some kind which often displays vividly in dreams and is broadly manifested throughout our lives. We are a construct of our own brain and, through our body language and behavior, are walking manifestation of it. Someone or something is always there that is frightful and chasing. In most cases, it is a haunting sense of guilty conscience. This guilt, however, may not always be factual. Intrinsic attractiveness attachment and intrinsic unattractiveness aversion. Our obvious belief in the intrinsic existence of things ushers our deluded attachment to them. It is our self-perpetuating dysfunction while dealing with the realities of the world. By according intrinsic properties of attractiveness, we react to some objects, events, or people with deluded attachment. On the other hand, we accord intrinsic properties of unattractiveness, resulting in deluded aversion. Intrinsic properties could only be attached to things having disconnected and independent existence. God only, as far as the cause of his being is concerned, fits the definition. He is uncaused. On the other hand, he is the cause of everything. Therefore, created things cannot be intrinsic by design. Love, psychosophically speaking. It is twitching of the brain, impulsive vibrations translating into emotive feelings, yearning for the satisfaction of lust or instinct. In pathology, this process is described epiphenomenalism. It has beginning and end, it is ephemeral. It may, however, be a fractional constituent of the true whole, refuted in secular pathology, which we were inculcated with before being descended into temporality. Buried in subconscious, it is clamoring to reach its zenith in perpetuity. True love with fellow human beings is improbable. It is an instinctual bonding. It cannot be classed as love. Love could only exist between God and creation, human. This love, if true, would require human to lose his self, or else it would simply be reverence. Temporally speaking, it is deluded attachment entailing unwholesomeness, self-centeredness. Hate. Psychosophically speaking. Same emotive feelings, derivative affliction, transform into superfluous ego which resorts to retribution in pursuit of healing the indelible scars on the mind. Negative memories stoke sense of deprivation or competitive disadvantage. When a spate of hatred is experienced while enduring, viewing, facing some event or scene, is the reflection of this phenomenon. Lack of confidence, which is derivative of ignorance, also works as a catalyst. Certain faces, events, or words associated with negative memories may stem afflictive mental process, thereby becoming a catalyst for feelings of hate. At times it may just be the disadvantaged position, against which extreme disgust is exhibited. At other, it may be the satisfaction of spuriously inflated ego through the display of the expression that I am better suited for the position or situation in which the other person is. It is jealousy factor which usually stems from an inferiority complex. It might have been infused by the situational disadvantage and is playing out. When one is caught up in distorted mindset, loses self-control and renders his perspective narrower, this kind of behavior is displayed. The influences of the formative period are very crucial. Archetypes, heroes and villains are of utmost relevance. Human traits are usually shaped around these characters. The sense of liking and disliking may similarly be shaped by peers, parents and cultures. It may even be genetic, though confused with innate traits. These influences become the determinant of the trajectory of lives and hallmarks of personalities. This kind of behavior, just because of some chance semblance, may also play out even against those whom one has never met. To remedy, one must delve into the past with open mind, which most probably would be the moot point for such behavior. Correct identification and then acknowledgement of the causes is the key to remedy. Anxiety. Sudden burst. A spate of anger. Snapping. All these behavioral expressions are the result of an afflictive mental process or derivative thereof called derivative affliction. The reasons for these distortions are not different from those discussed above. However, some of these conditions are more intense and could be harmful, in terms of health, self-infliction, or the violence meted out to others. Snapping and sudden bursts reflect the tipping point in one's state of mind. The root cause of this behavioral pattern may be multifaceted. It may stem from certain words, expression of dominance, threat, insult, humiliation, helplessness, fear of loss of face or integrity. It has become the norm, given the present socioeconomic conditions and the prevalence of self-righteousness, that people lose equanimity rather quickly and become ensnarled in rash behavior. Sometimes it is termed as anxiety attack. If this behavior is not checked properly and timely, it could entail wide-ranging complications. Negativity. Bitterness. These attitudes stem from the deprivation or non-achievement. Their cause may be lack of opportunities, which keeps one deprived of achievement or excellence. These may have also been destined due to surrounding milieu or other people. These, more often than not, pervade in class-bifurcated societies where the inculcated hatred against the better-off provides a feeding ground. When someone better off or seemingly so is seen in an uneven environment, the reaction on the part of the worse off may show up as change of countenance, negative/abusive comments, or even manhandle. Remedy. Introspection. Once the reason is understood and acknowledged, it would become easy to ward off these tendencies. Identification and acknowledgement is a panacea. Fear of poverty or deprivation. Past experience of deprivation or poverty leaves indelible scars on the human mind. It is immensely detrimental and forces one, according to the axiom, to even forsake one's core belief. It has exoteric and esoteric dimensions. It is a duel between firm belief and logical, at times even illogical, reasoning. The conclusion would depend on one's conviction and mindset. Here I may, however, take the liberty to lean towards the esoteric side and would like to postulate that we humans do not have much of latitude, free will, therefore rightfully succumb to destiny. I would, therefore, unflinchingly, affirm my belief in destiny. It preempts all apprehensions of poverty and deprivation. Peace and tranquility lie in frictionless sailing. Go with the flow, do what he makes us do. Thereby one becomes fearlessly brave and sagacious. Bitterness is often the result of the sustained struggle to get out of the vicious life circle. It leaves a person perpetually prone to fear, which is displayed through bitterness at the muddled event horizon of life. Acceptance of predestination perhaps is the best remedy. Otherwise, proper professional treatment would be the best suggestion. Panicking when faced with the unexpected situation. At times, it happens that one becomes agitated, defensive, apologetic, or even aggressive when faced with an unexpected situation. The reason often is unpreparedness, which results in any of the situations described. It may be that one is not having an appropriate answer to the question raised. One may not be having the knowledge of the topic raised, or one may not be in a position to answer or explain in the existing situation. The worst could be the fear of losing one's face and integrity. The best remedy is that before embarking on any encounter, one should be ready for such a situation and a suitable response. The process of forethought would not only muster the confidence to face the situation but would also provide audacity to extricate. A deep breath and a momentary thoughtful pause would also be helpful in recollecting oneself before offering an appropriate response. Honest solution, nevertheless, would be to thrash out the weaknesses and make them up. Always be well prepared. Mendacity, oldest and mother of all moral turpitudes. This trait was the very first step towards human indignation when Prophet Adam was lied to about the forbidden fruit. It unceasingly coagulates innumerable vices. The tendency to lie is a derivative of fear or greed. When a situation needs to be avoided or evaded, camouflaging the true motivation, use of an unwarranted lie becomes obvious. We have become complacently habituated for its huge efficacy. It is used extensively and fearlessly without even a thought of any repercussion. Lying is a self-deceiving technique. It ultimately culminates in disgrace. The old saying goes without saying that honesty is the best policy. Disclaimer: no responsibility is assumed, as this essay does not offer any professional advice or treatment. Empirical observations, if used, would be at one's own risk and responsibility. Comments, critique, questions could be posted at shakir2.wordpress.com.